Hello and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael. Today is Thursday. Well, the day you're watching this is Thursday, the 12th of May. I'm recording this on the late evening of Wednesday, the 11th of May. I usually like to record a couple of these ahead of time, just in case life happens. And life happened. I didn't have anything recorded. So I'm doing this at the end of the day, and I apologize because I am bone tired. I am wiped. I've been working full time and also going over to our new house and painting and helping my husband. I'm his apprentice, so I'm doing all the, sweeping and throwing flooring in the back of the truck and things like that. Having a great time, having a blast, learning so much about everything from my husband, who is my absolute hero. He is a jack of all trades, a master of many. He is doing a great job. And on top of that, he is very, very patient with me because, well, I am not a girly girl. I am not a carpenter. And I have no sense of spatial reasoning. And I can't read his mind. And he's really trying hard to teach me as he goes how to do all these things like painting and flooring and tiling. And it's pretty amazing. But one of the things I am learning as I do this is to really appreciate those moments when you can put your feet up. When you're so bone tired that when you get home, it's every effort you have to take your socks off and just be able to sit down with a cup of tea, my big cup of tea here, and to be able to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, which I am so tired tonight I'm not even doing, or to read a book, which isn't going to happen either because I just fall asleep. But there's something about slowing down and taking a new perspective. You see, for the last week or so, I seem to have had an inner ear infection. And the problem is, it's not a problem. I don't have an earache. I just have a balance issue. At certain times of the day and depending on what I'm doing, especially if I'm in a store where we're walking up and down aisles, or if I'm in the house where I'm sort of going in circles from job to job, I'm finding that my balance is really bad, and I'm really hoping none of my parishioners in town see me walking down the street bouncing off the walls. I look like I'm in a pinball machine because all of a sudden my balance goes sideways, literally. Like right now when I'm recording, you're swimming, like looking at the screen, everything's kind of like, it's kind of a cool feeling. But it's giving me a new perspective because it's making me slow down and have to be aware of every moment. I rush and rush and rush from place to place, and often, I hate to say this, but I will admit, I'm so often thinking about the next thing I have to do that I'm not maybe giving my 100% focus to the thing I'm doing at the moment. And that's not a good practice. We all need to stop that if we're doing it. But this being dizzy thing, and added to being so tired with all that we're doing the last couple of weeks, getting ready to move in 2 weeks, is really making me slow down and pay attention, because things like simply walking across the yard take effort. I was taking some things out to the garage from the back of the house today. I was walking across the backyard and I realized I had to slow down and think about where I was going to place my feet, because I was heading for the weeds. I was heading for the rhubarb. And I have trouble sort of going, and I know what's wrong, and I know it's going to be fine. But until it's fine, it's like, okay, take a deep breath, look up, look straight ahead. Don't look at your feet, and move forward. And I think having to do that, having to think about the sequences of walking, of even figure out how to do something and what's the best way to do this so that I won't get dizzy, that I won't fall over. It's been really good for me. It's first of all helping me to recognize some of the difficulties that some of my older parishioners have when they end up with mobility issues. That I have a new understanding, new empathy for folks who do have balance issues or who have trouble walking. I'm beginning to understand how much effort it takes simply to do the small things that we do every day and take for granted when we're healthy. It's also helping me to slow down and think about what's in front of me. Because all too often, I've got my head down, whether it's in my phone or in a book or looking for my keys or digging through my purse or something, because I'm going from point A to point B, and you know what, I have to get there fast, and I have a million things I have to do, and this is one of them, and bang, 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 bang. And I don't pay any attention to my surroundings, what's happening around me. I've got my head down. And how many of us can relate to that? How many of us have had to slam on the brakes when we're driving because somebody, teenagers, was crossing the street looking at their phone instead of paying attention to what's happening around them? It's happened to me several times where someone just sort of steps off the curb and walks, not paying any attention to the world around them. How many of us understand what it is to be so fixated on what we're doing or where we're going and what we're thinking about, what has to happen next, that we aren't aware of the ground in front of us or even the path that we take? For instance, have you ever gotten in your car and driven someplace, and when you get there realize you have no recollection of the drive? It's kind of scary, isn't it? I mean, maybe you maybe fell asleep driving, but it could possibly be that your brain was just so many other places. You were on autopilot. That has happened to me when I drive from Wainwright to Edgerton. It's about a 20-minute drive between my churches. And there are times when, because I've driven them so often, I know where I am. I don't have to think about it. But there are times when it's like, whoa, like that's kind of scary that I didn't think about it. I need to slow down, because when I slow down, I see the cows and the new calves, and I see the greening of the grass and the trees in the distance, or I see a beautiful sunset that is unique every day. As a matter of fact, is unique every moment when I pay attention to what's in front of me. And today, when I was walking across the yard and I had my arms full of plywood and things to throw into the garage, I realized that the best way for me to be able to get from point A, which was the deck at the back of the house, to point B, which was the garage door, was not for me to look at the ground, because I kept thinking I've got to watch where my feet are because I'm dizzy and I don't want to fall over or drop all this wood. But I realized when I looked up and looked ahead to where I was going, when I kept my eyes up off the ground and looking ahead of me, my balance was better. My sense of potentially getting where I wanted to go was better. And I realized that I could see that we have, I was going to call them midget birds. They're not midget birds. What are they? We had some when I was a kid. Bonnie and Clyde. Can't remember. They're tiny, tiny little birds. And they're not chickadees, but they're beautiful little tiny birds, and they make this beautiful chirping sound. And if I hadn't looked up and been looking ahead to where I was going, I wouldn't have seen these three little birds. I thought if I said it fast, I'd come up with it. 3 little birds in the tree right there by the house. And I stopped and I watched them for a minute just to see how they go about their business and how they treat each other. And it was beautiful. And it's something I wouldn't have seen had I had my full balance, because I would have been busy running to the garage and doing what I had to do and getting that job done, not paying attention to what was around me. So it seems to me that sometimes those very things that we think are a pain in the butt, like being bone tired or being dizzy or getting the flu, things like that, sometimes those things seem like they're bad, and really maybe they're not great. But what benefit can come of them when they help us to slow down, to take stock, to realize that, you know what, I can get sick and not go to work, and the world isn't going to stop turning. Somebody else will do the job just fine, or it'll still be there when I get there. Things like that. But being able to sort of take stock of who we are and where we are, and being able to lift up our eyes and see the world around us and know that we will get to where we need to go. We don't have to get there in such a bloody hurry. And even if we do have to get there in a hurry, and it means we are working our fingers to the bone and we are bone tired, we can take stock of the beauty of what we're doing. We can look at how wonderful the tasks were that made us bone tired. And we can we can celebrate that, and we can sit down with our cup of tea at the end of the day and catch the last 5 minutes of a hockey game and know that we're going to sleep like a baby tonight because we're so tired. But we can know that we had a good day. We did something. We accomplished something. And our fatigue and it's just the benefit of it. Thanks for sticking with me today because I'm a little fuzzy, I think. But I pray that you find something in your life that will make you contentedly bone tired. Something that you love so much that you would do even after you've put in your 40-hour week, your 8, 10, 12-hour day. Something that inspires you and drives you to be able to be bone tired, but then also to be able to put your feet up knowing that you accomplished something important, that you had a good day. Because you know what? Today is a good day. Yesterday was a good day, and tomorrow will be a good day too. So have a great day today, and I will see you tomorrow when we're all having a good day. God bless. God bless you all.